Finance Minister of Government of India, Nirmala Sitharaman, in her budget speech had specified that the Government of India will continue its efforts in simplifying the taxes, improve the services of the taxpayers, provide certainty of tax payment, and also will ensure in reducing litigation while enhancing the revenues. In pursuit of this, she has introduced Kar Vivad Se Vishwas Yojana 2024 in the current budget. And in the budget now, she has mentioned that those who are having their appeals pending in the various forums under the tax department, they can get some relief. She had provided some statistics wherein it was pointed out that there are about 2.70 crore demands which are pending till 31st March 2024, and around a sum of rupees 35 lakh crore rupees are to be received by the Government of India. In order to settle that, she had invited attention on the Vivad Se Vishwas scheme introduced by her in the year 2020, wherein the results were quite satisfactory. Around 1.5 lakh taxpayers had taken the benefit of that scheme, and they had deposited 53,624 crores of rupees towards tax, as a result of which 99,756 total amount proposals for that were disposed of. In lieu of that now, this Vivad Se Vishwas scheme will be introduced from 1st of October 2024. It is when it will be ended, that date is not yet specified. Maybe hopefully in the next year it will get concluded. Now the second important aspect that we have to venture is about who are going to get benefit out of this and who are the ultimately beneficiary of this. Now it has been categorically specified that those taxpayers whose appeals are pending on 22nd of July 2024 with the Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals, or if they have filed a special leave petition either to the High Court or to the Central Supreme Court in itself, or the appeals are pending with the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal or similar dispute resolution panel, or even the appeals which are pending under section 264 for judiciary revision topic in itself. So these are the persons who are likely to get benefit out of this in itself. Now let us see the scheme as such. The first part, or the first important part that we need to learn, that if the appeal is pertaining to the taxes, interest, fine and prosecution, in that particular case there are two categories which have been specified, that those appeals which have been preferred after 31st of January 2020 but before 22nd of July 2024. In such cases, if the concerned taxpayer makes the payment of the disputed tax, 100% of the disputed tax, then no penalty, no interest, no other taxes or prosecution can be levied. So it will be exempted, the taxpayer will be exempted from paying this particular sum. If you make the payment after 31st of December, then in that case you have to make the payment to the extent of 110% of the tax, that is 110% of the disputed tax. So this will solve the problem, and the remaining interest, fees and the penalty will be waived. The second important aspect is again pertaining to the taxes, interest, penalties and fine. So in that case, if the appeal is filed on or before 31st of January 2020 and the same appeal is pending with the same forum on 22nd of July 2024, then you need to pay 110% of the tax. If you pay that tax before 31st of December, entire penalty, interest fees and prosecution will be waived. But if you make the payment after 31st of December 2024, then you have to make payment to the extent of 120% of the disputed tax. If you make that payment, your entire penalty, interest, fees and prosecution will be waived. Now the next two aspects are not pertaining to the tax, but if the appeals are preferred for waiver of penalty or interest. If the waiver of the penalty and the interest is lodged by you after 31st of January 2020 but before 22nd of July 2024, and if you make the payment to the extent of 25% of the penalty or interest, the entire 75% will be waived. And if you make the payment after 31st of December, then in that case you have to make a payment to the extent of 30% of the penalty or interest. The remaining 70% will be waived. And if the appeal pertaining to the interest and penalty is pertaining to a period which was prior to 31st of January 2020 and the same appeal is pending with the same forum on 22nd of July 2024, then you have to make the payment to the extent of 30% of the disputed interest, and remaining 70% will be waived. In case you are making the payment before after 31st of December 2024, then you have to make the payment to the extent of 35% of the interest that has been levied. So in nutshell, it is a welcome win-win situation for all the taxpayer, which you need to take into account. So if you are to find out that whether this is useful to you or not, just find out whether there are enough grounds for you, whether documentary evidence is with you, whether how much cost that you are going to bear in the next terms to come, and then make a final decision. If there are adequate case laws with you, then there is no need to go for this particular scheme. But if you have to avoid dispute with the income tax department, in that particular case, this case or this particular scheme is very, very useful to you. So in that technical sense now, if you like this particular video, please subscribe it. If you have subscribed it, just write down a note as to how you felt about this particular video. Thank you for watching.